hello, and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland, and this is Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. Got an itchy arm. The weather's changed a lot. The last few days has been almost summery, but not summery as in temperature, but bright, sunny. I guess sunny and bright are the two. It's not going to be bright unless it's sunny, really, is it? Yeah, so it's been sunny and bright, and I think the old tree fleas have been flying around and getting me. So, whoa. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And find out the cause of your chronic pain before listening to any recordings that may help you to reduce that physical pain. Make sure you find a cause first and get permission from your medical practitioner before ever watching a video or listening to a recording that helps you to reduce or to remove any kind of physical pain. Okay? So, providing you've done that, we shall get on with the recording. So, what I do things a little bit different to how I think other people do it. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse. It might be worse, but it's what I do. So my background is hypnosis, going back a long time, NLP. I'm a qualified I was a qualified counsellor. I don't counsel anymore. I got a degree in counselling. Started studying hypnosis in 1998. So, yeah, I've been around a bit. Now I'm just round because I'm fat. Lovely. So, all I'd ask you to start with is gauge what level the physical pain is now. And I'm not going to use the word pain anymore after this little bit. Okay, I'm just going to use the term physical discomfort because I don't really want to be focusing on that particular word because it's not a nice word. It's not the kind of word you think, unless of course you're into S&M and stuff like that, then maybe you might be into that, hot candle wax and stuff. Never quite figured that one out. I had a girlfriend once. Hard to believe, but it's true. And I remember she getting a candle out. And first of all, I thought, it was quite a big candle, and I was a little bit worried. I'm not sure if I could accommodate it. And then she says she lights it. So I thought, okay, must be a power cut or something. Next thing I know, I'm going, ouch, ouch, ouch. And, yeah, not really my thing. But I won't be using the word pain. I won't be talking about candles either, probably. Although, there is something about candles. I think one of the things is it's a Buddhist saying that one candle, you can light 1,000,000 candles with just one candle. One candle lights and then another lights, and it can go on for literally for thousands of years just from one candle, the light from one candle. But unfortunately, it's not very relevant to this recording. I don't know why I thought about it. So what I'd like to do is gauge where you are on your scale of pain being 10, being 0. 10 the worst, 0 like nothing. And this isn't about eliminating that physical discomfort. It's about reducing it. It's about noticing how it changes and how naturally the way we feel changes all the time, constantly going in and out of different feelings. Sometimes, for example, you're possibly not focusing on your feet. Well, you are now though. And you weren't focusing maybe on your hands, but you are now. Or the back of your neck. Or your jaw. And now you're focusing on your jaw. It's just standard things like that. I know I'm kind of egging you on to notice those parts of your body. But that also happens naturally. When you're eating, you're going to notice your mouth moving. When you're walking, you're going to notice your feet moving. If you're in a wheelchair, you're going to notice how it feels when you're pushing the wheels with your hands. If you're rowing a boat, why would you be rowing a boat? But some people do row boats. You're going to notice how that feels on your back and the feeling of being cramped in that little dodgeridoo thing. Canoe, that's it. I didn't like canoes. I'm not prejudiced against canoes. I just don't. It's like, why? I understand as a form of transport, canoes were amazing. They were useful, they were used, and, by indigenous tribes and stuff, different parts of the world. That was transport. They didn't have trains or ferries or planes back then, or yachts. So they had to make do with, or bridges even. So to get across, I realise you might be thinking, we know what canoes do. You don't have to explain that they float on the water and go across from land to land. But that's not what they're used for now, are they? It's more like a sport. And like parachuting. Why? Anyway, so focusing on where you are now, it can be a distraction. Sometimes listening to me can be a distraction, and you think, oh, okay, what the heck is he talking about? He's just talking about nothing. And that is part of what this is me talking about nothing. Sometimes I might feel like that. And I might also stutter as well. I've got a little bit of a stutter sometimes. With the S's for some reason. Which is weird because it's really hard for a stutter. It's hard for a stutterer to say stutter. I don't always stutter, but just sometimes. It's not like a regular thing. It's like a hobby, a part-time job. And I got a bit of a lisp as well. A lisp. That's another word you can't say about lisping, isn't it? A lisp. It's like they're trying to make fun of people. It's like illiteracy. Hard to spell. Thesaurus. Practically impossible to spell. I don't know what he's doing down there. So it's about noticing how you feel at the beginning and then how you feel at the end. Now there's a few different ways that you can reduce your chronic pain. One of them, which I discovered probably about 2006, so it's 19 years ago. I used to do a free pain relief service in my local town. I started off going to people's houses, and then they came to me because I had a little office. Just did it on a Saturday morning, and I was working full time as well. So it was a little free service. But I noticed that relaxation, just by relaxing, automatically reduces physical issues. Whatever the physical issues are, relaxing just makes you feel better, you know? And when I say better, I mean you feel calmer, you feel more physically in tune, maybe have a bit more physical energy. Maybe you can even notice the parts of your body that feel good, because that's something that, and I got chronic pain myself. I said the word, ooh, I've got arthritis in my lower back. So, and I've had this for a long time. It's gradually got worse over years. It's wear and tear and whatever. I'm old. I'm very old. It's all those backflips. No, I never done a backflip. A black flip? A black back flip. Never did a backflip. Wouldn't know how to. I like the idea of it though. Not now, but when I was younger, because I used to see it on TV and, you know, the athletes and stuff during the Olympics, and like, how do they do it? And how do they manage to land without hurting their fingers? That's what because, okay, got bendy backs, but they have to have bendy fingers because the way they land, almost like on their fingertips and then roll over. So I never had a chance to do that. Well, I did have a chance. I mean, my teacher did sort of kept saying, "I'll go on, do a backflip. You can do it. It's fine." And apparently he got struck off eventually, and we got a new maths teacher. Got a replacement. So the PE teacher wasn't really that interested. He only liked the lads that, because we were always single sex, like when we did sports, he always liked the lads that were athletic and that could play football and play rugby, and that just, you know, that were sporty and were good at stuff like that. And I'm still looking for something that I'm good at. 54 years and I've not found anything yet. I'm good at watching television. I'm good at eating chocolate, if that can be a skill. But yeah, I'm still waiting. Still waiting to find something that I actually can excel at. But playing football wasn't it. So relaxing is the whole kind of, not something that can be forced, but for me there's there's more than two ways to relax. I'm just thinking there's a really good way to relax, I suppose, but you know, there can be sometimes relaxation happens instantly, and I find that's the best type. Sometimes, you know, when it's just, you know, you literally just, maybe you've had a busy day and you sit down, and that sitting down, putting your feet up or whatever, feels amazing. Or it's a bit like eating when you're hungry. Like when you're really hungry, those first couple of bites of whatever it is you're eating tastes amazing. It just, even if it's not great food, if you're hungry enough, it tastes good. Like just a bit of toast is amazing when you're hungry. You know, just something little like that. So that natural ability to, because we've all got the natural ability to relax, you know, it's just inbuilt with us. Just, you've only got to look at a baby. I mean, they can relax in a second. They can fall asleep within an instant. They might not stay asleep because they're babies, but they can, you know, you see even toddlers, little kids like 3, 4, 5 years old, maybe not 5, but, you know, toddlers fall asleep while they're eating. I mean, you don't see that in adults unless they've got, you know, what's that disorder where people fall asleep? Not kleptomaniacs. That's a different thing. I forget what it's called now. It's gone out of my head. I got an uncle that was like that. I took his driving license away. Yeah. Apparently, I mean, he admitted to it. He didn't have an accident or anything. But there was one point where him and my aunt both fell asleep at the same time. And my auntie woke up. No, I think my uncle woke up. He was driving, and he realised that my auntie was asleep. He's like, "Oh, wake up! Why are you asleep?" And then he realised that he'd been asleep. And they were like, I don't know how long they were driving with their eyes closed, but it's not good. So he stopped driving. More information than he needed. But I'd see him sometimes, and it'd just be like that. It was gone. Now, I'm used to people's eyes glazing over when I talk to them, because apparently, according to some resources, I don't have the most exciting voice, and I don't talk particularly quickly. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not one of these YouTube, like, blah, 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 blah. I can't do that. I struggle to listen to people talking really quickly. I think it's just because everything works slowly on me. I'm slow at practically everything. The only thing I'm not slow at is the thing that I'd like to be slow at. But let's not go down that little rabbit hole. I even know someone, I remember years ago, I'm going to talk about urine now, sorry. Wee-weeing. Went to a hospital with a friend. We were visiting someone. And when we got there, it was like a car park, but it was in the middle of nowhere. And we'd been driving for about 2 hours. For some reason. I don't know if he got lost. And so we had to kind of go in the bushes. It wasn't on the hospital property, but it might have been. I'm just trying to... Anyway, we both needed a toilet. He needed a toilet. So there were some bushes. It was the middle of the night, honestly. No one around. I don't normally urinate in public. Just trying to fit all the things I've covered so far. So candles, hot wax, and now public urination. It's not how I thought this was going to be going, but bear with me. It's not really relevant either. I don't even know why I'm sticking with the story. But he was probably in his 50s then. Yeah, he was in his 50s. He's about 70 now. He's got a good 16, 17 years older than me. So I'm going to a toilet. I'm doing a urination. He's doing a urination. We're emptying our willies. We're doing, a wee-wee. We're doing a wee-wee each. And we're not together. We're not standing there. There'd be no need. Well, we are standing there, but we're like different sides of the bush. Not opposite sides, otherwise we might get wet. But just, different parts of the bush. But close enough to hear. And I swear, when he went to the toilet, it felt like a little bottle of water, had just been poured down the toilet. Or maybe half a bottle of water, just emptied instantly. I don't know if that shows that he's got a really, really good prostate. Because sometimes I have to stand for a little while and wait. And just okay. I thought I needed to go. I mean, I think last week I read about half a book waiting. I didn't. I don't know why I said that. It was a book on relaxation. Why didn't mention it? I've already said it didn't happen. Why am I mentioning the book? I don't know. I don't always know what I'm going to say in these recordings. But how are you feeling though? That's the thing. How do you feel in that part of your body? Are you feeling more relaxed than you were before? Or, you might just be annoyed. You might be like, oh, you keep going on about nothing. My question would be, why are you still listening after 20 minutes? If it's that annoying. But if you feel more relaxed, then something's happened, and that might be worth exploring. Like, okay, how can this baldy man with a squeaky voice, I don't know if I've got a squeaky, is my voice squeaky? I don't know. But how can a baldy man, a big fat baldy man, old, really old, probably smells of licorice. Why would I smell of licorice? I don't even eat licorice. Keeps talking about farting. I've not even mentioned farts yet. Yeah. How can him talking about nothing affect how I feel so that I feel more relaxed and calmer? And how is that possible? How? Why? When? What reason? So, I don't know. I might know a little bit. I know a little bit about some stuff. But ultimately, it's about the effect. What's the results? Is it useful? If it's useful, good. If not, go do something else. But if it is useful, isn't that interesting? It may not even be interesting. Even if it's useful, it might be boring. Which is why I've got the title, Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. Because that's what this is. It's a little bit like my Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcasts. The difference is I do focus more. It might not seem like it, but this is way more focused than a Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Way more focused. And if you don't believe me, go and listen to one of those. You won't even like, what on earth am I talking about? But this is more focused because I do talk about, techniques and different things that might be useful for increasing comfort. Because that's the thing. I know sometimes with my back, I can focus on it and almost sort of not notice the other parts of my body that are feeling fine. And my back is only it's only the bottom part. It's only the left-hand side. So what is that? Probably not even 5% of my body. Probably less than 5% of my entire body. Yet, why would I give that dominance? Why would I give all my attention to that when 95% of my body also deserves my attention? If you've got 10 children, you're not going to completely ignore one of them, are you? And that'd be 10%. So you had 20 children. But, if you've got 10 children, you don't ignore one. Unless they're really annoying, but like me. But you're not, you can't or you're not going to give all your attention. I just realised I should have done it all way around. Let's forget that happened. You're not going to give all your attention to just that one child. So if you've got 20 children, you don't want to give your attention to just one child. That makes more sense. I could edit that other bit out, but I'm not going to. Because I'll forget. So you're not going to give attention to that one child if you had 20 children. Or let's say it's a birthday party. There's 20 children there. And you're just observing. Maybe you're a parent and all your kids have invited all their friends around or whatever. Or grandkids. Or it's a big family gathering. A bar mitzvah or whatever. Okay? If you're standing or sitting there and you've got 20 children all playing around and talking and screaming and shouting and laughing and all that stuff, try and pinpoint one of them. Try and listen. I don't mean like yeah, I know him because it's my grand. I don't mean that. Don't sort of like, don't name one of them. Try and pinpoint, like, listen out for just one of them out of the 20 voices that are being high-pitched voices. It's difficult. So you're going to probably give more of attention to all of them, like as a kind of en masse. Not necessarily hearing everything that everyone's saying, but just hearing the overall noise. Because it changes from sound to noise, doesn't it? Unless, of course, you want it to be relaxing, then it's just sound. The word noise, it does give a little bit of energy, a little bit of maybe negativity to the word. You know, it's like the sound is like, it's just sound. Because no one ever like moans about a neighbour. I wish they'd stop with all that sound. No, it's noise, isn't it? Ringing them up. Can you keep the sound down? No. Noise. Anyway, you want to give all your attention to that one child. Even if everyone's all quiet, you still have to include all the others. So, or if you're running a choir with adults and there was 20 adults, you wouldn't just let one sing and everyone else just had to keep quiet. You might give them a solo, but you're not going to let them sing the whole thing on their own. Unless they've paid you money. But then it's not really a choir, is it? A choir isn't one person. A choir isn't a solo. It's a choir. I'm very serious about that. It's a very serious subject. So why would I give all my attention to just that part of my back when I got quite a big back? Big, fat, smelly back. That's terrible. I shouldn't say stuff like that about myself. But you know, there's a lot there in my back, my body, my chest, my stomach, my arms, you know, just like, you know, normal stuff that we have. Head, eyes, jaw, bum, feet, toes, hands. It's difficult to just focus on one part. When you think about it, it's like, okay, if I mention your right knee, so you can kind of get in touch with how your right knee feels. But at the same time, so I'm doing that, I'm focused on my right knee. Now, I'm also aware of what my voice, like my throat, like, you know, because I'm talking. So I'm aware of my mouth moving. So I'm focused on my right knee. But at the same time, I'm still hearing my voice. So even when you focus on your right knee, you're still focusing on my voice. So there's a percentage of your attention given to me, a percentage of your attention given to your right knee. And that sounds like the beginning of some kind of weird poem, doesn't it? But at the same time, I'm noticing how my feet are. I'm noticing how nice it feels when I close my eyes. I love closing my eyes. I don't mean like it's my favourite thing to do, but it's nice. I mean, it doesn't really fit into a category of hobbies. You know, imagine someone, what do you do for a hobby? I close my eyes. Sounds weird. You thought about Scrabble or taking up chess, badminton? Nope, I like to close my eyes. It just might come across as a bit strange. But it does feel nice. A lot better than running around on a squash court. Not that I've ever run around on a squash court. I've never even been in a squash court, I don't think. I always got a little bit confused about squash. Why is it called squash? But also, I don't know how it works. I think there's lines, you have to get it above a line, but then you're using all four walls. It's surely the other person could get in the way, and that's not fair. It seems to me it's more like a one man or one person game. Maybe not. I suppose not if you're competing against someone else. And what if someone comes in the door while you're playing? They could get hit by the ball, and I don't know what kind of balls they are. I know they're round. I assume they're round, but I don't know if they're hard or if they're soft. But they tend to make quite a bit of sound when they hit the wall. This is based on American TV shows generally. I'm sure we have squash in this country as well. Orange squash is the only thing that I ever really indulged in. It was weird though, because when I was a kid, it was all about sugar. Everything was sugar, 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 sugar. It's almost like, do you know how with AI, those that are really positive about AI are starting to think that the medical advances that have already started and could come through in the next 10 years or so would completely change all of our lives. And I'm thinking that maybe in the 70s and 80s they had that same positivity about dentists, that maybe one day we'll start growing 3 sets of teeth. So instead of just the first teeth, falling out, and the second teeth being it, maybe we'd have another set of teeth. But it didn't happen, did it? That's why they said, like, have sugar with everything. Sugar's the super food. It's good for your teeth. It's not, is it? It's really not. I do like sugar. I remember I don't eat sugar anymore. Like, not that I used to eat it. I used to like sugar cubes. There was a time in the 80s, so I'm going back, maybe even in the early 90s, you go into a cafe or caf, and there'd be a bowl of sugar cubes. You have your coffee and your tea or whatever, and you put the sugar cubes in. And I used to just eat the sugar cubes like a horse. It was lovely. I remember my nan, she was about, someone said to her, who was it? I think it was one of her kids, said to her mum, how many sugars have you put in your tea? And she said 7. And this, I think it's my auntie, maybe my uncle, said, you can't have that much sugar, it's bad for you. It's not good for you. And my nan turned around, laughed, and said, I'm 95 years old. Come back to me when you're 95. Like, can't tell a 95-year-old that anything that they're doing is bad for them. It's ridiculous. Like, come on. They're 95. Besides, she had no taste buds hardly. So having 35 sugar bags in a cup of tea, like a barrel, was the only way that she could really taste it. But the way she told the story was funny. It's like, okay, I'm 95. It's bad for me. And she once said, my last 2 doctors are dead. Her last 2 previous doctors had died. She's still alive. Well, she's not now, but she was still alive. It's hard to kind of take medical advice from someone who, bless her. That was funny. I did do some pain relief with my nan. She had osteoporosis, which is still potential with me. It runs in the family. And I've had so many broken bones over the last few years that there's a chance it could be that, but doctors don't seem to be concerned, and I'm not really that bothered either. But so the bones were crumbling, and it was just, both my aunties have got it, and it was because of her age as well. But her shoulders, and she's probably in her 80s at this point, actually. 2006. So she would have been about, no, she would have been at 89, 88. Blimey. So I went around hers and I did a record. No, I didn't do a recording. I made a recording, but that was separate. I actually did some relaxation hypnosis to focus on relieving her shoulder and to increase relaxation in her shoulder and her part of her back. So we're in the kitchen and she's in a chair, I'm in a chair, and I'm talking to her, and she keeps talking like, so I'm kind of not asking questions, but kind of, just kind of asking questions, and she's answering them, and they're like, I don't want you to answer. And it was a bit weird. I think it's my nan. It was just a weird situation, really. At one point I had to say, can you just stop eating the biscuits? This, you need to at least concentrate. She said, but I'm thirsty. I said, well, eating biscuits isn't going to help your thirst. She said, no, it isn't, but it helps because then I have a cup of tea and it's just really nice. I said, you got 7 sugars in there? She said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. In the end, she put her tea down and turned the kettle off. She had continuous tea coming. She put the phone down and she said, okay. And she gave me her attention. So we do it for about half an hour, or maybe 40 minutes. At the end of it, she was like that, doing what a lot of people do, trying to get it back. It feels really relaxed. It's nothing there. Trying to get the feeling back how it was before, even though it's gone or reduced. And then she said, oh, must be because of the sun's shining in there. Must be the sun that caused that. It's like, or Nanny Newland, it could be the fact that I just spent 42 and a half minutes, focusing on helping to relieve your shoulder. Maybe a bit of both, to be fair. A bit of sun shining definitely would have been useful. But she completely dismissed what I'd been doing for the last 42 and a half minutes. I've never been so angry. But it's funny. It was funny, just we've been here for 7 hours. 14 cups of tea. What have we been doing? It's this is a reason I came round. She said, are you going to cut my grass? I said, yeah, not right now. I thought we were going to do this to help your shoulder. She said, it'll help my shoulder if you cut the grass. How's it going to help your shoulder if I cut the grass? Because if you don't do it, I'll have to do it, and that will hurt my shoulder. Okay. So yeah, I used to cut the grass for her once a week. Yeah, so it's about how you feel. It's about not just the part of your body that you were focusing on before, but the whole of your body. Because there's a lot more there, isn't it? Once the energy starts to flow a bit more naturally, and your breathing may have slowed down naturally, a certain calmness comes over you. Should I say the word naturally again? I don't know, maybe. And it can feel nice. Nice knowing that And we all know that we can relax. We all know that we can let go. We've all done it. There's not one person listening or watching this that hasn't relaxed. Not one person. Everyone is relaxed at some point. And sometimes I've had a lot of people in the past tell me that they'd never felt so relaxed. It's almost like they thought they'd relaxed before, but until they'd listened to me and drifted off, I didn't realise back then it was through boredom, but I found out later on that I didn't have any therapeutic skills. I was just very tedious, very boring, and when I talk, your brain just switches off. Everything calms down, your mind slows down, and your body just relaxes. Because when your mind relaxes, your body relaxes, and when your body relaxes, your mind relaxes. Blah, blah, blah. And then it can be a surprise. Like, I don't understand it. Why do I feel different? Why? It makes no sense why you feel different now to how you did before. Maybe it's because you drifted off. Maybe you stopped listening. Maybe you started thinking about nice things, laying in the sun, letting all your body just melt away. There's a feeling that first time I noticed this, there's two things that I used to do when I was a kid to relax. Three. Reading is one thing. I used to really find it was nice. It was relaxing. The first thing when I was a kid, because the second one really, other than reading, was more when I was kind of in my teenage years and becoming an adult. When I was a kid, I used to love lying down on the bed, listening to music. And it might sound like, well, yeah, doesn't everyone? No, but yeah, possibly everyone does love doing that. But I really found it helped me to calm down, because I was a bit of a stress head when I was a little kid. Very uptight, wasn't the most relaxed kid. And lying down, no human around, no one having to talk to, or no explaining myself, no having to fit into other people's what they expect, just being nothing, just lying there listening to music, whatever it is. I mean, back then it could be the Bee Gees, it could be Madness, the Monkees, Buddy Holly, whatever, just all the greatest hits albums. Now that's what I call music. I used to listen to those. There was one album I really liked, and it wasn't mine, it was the parents', and it was themed music from famous movies like Superman and E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, 2001 Space Odyssey, Star Wars, Star Trek, probably. Those kind of really big orchestral songs that were just huge numbers, and famous as well. Well, even now, I might not be able to tell you where the sounds are from, the music's from, but I'd recognise it. I'd definitely recognise the Fistful of Dollars, because that like ooh do do do. That was that like that, wasn't it? Do 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 do. That's Superman, I think. Yeah. Anyway, that's something that I noticed was good for helping me relax. And as I got older, there was something that naturally, I didn't actually have to do anything. I had to do something to get there, but I noticed when I was on a ferry leaving England, so that feeling of being on the ferry, watching the shore moving away from Dover or from wherever port I was at, I could just feel all the stress leave my body. It's almost becoming lighter and heavier at the same time, like heavy with comfort, but lightness with relaxation. And such an amazing feeling. I didn't really notice it until I was 18. It was the first time I got a ferry on my own, and it was to Belgium. I wasn't on my own, but I was with some friends, but they were inside. I was just, I like to just be there and watch the takeoff, in ship terms, the takeoff, whatever it's called. Launching, is it launching? Like a catapult. And there's been times when I felt a bit like that on trains as well, just leaving, going somewhere. Just, yeah. Try to blow out the right side of my mouth so I don't blow onto the microphone, just in case you wonder why I'm going like that. It's weird that sometimes just by thinking about something that's happened in the past when you felt relaxed, just by remembering that, it can cause you to feel more relaxed. And it's not even like I'm saying, I remember a time when you were just really chilled out. Maybe you were on holiday, sitting by a pool or laying down. And I'm not going to say, step inside your body, just notice how it feels and whatever. Notice how the sun feels on your skin, and notice some of the sounds you can hear so you can get in touch with that feeling. I'm not saying any of that stuff. It's just thinking about those moments that we've felt comfort and calmness. I felt happy. Even if it's just a feeling, like a short feeling that maybe didn't last very long, but it's still there, it's still in your mind, it's still available. And what I noticed, this is just personally for me, when I close my eyes, when I focus on that feeling, pretty much just behind my eyelids, I suppose kind of near the top, near the the bridge where the eyebrows kind of are. That feeling there is something. There's a peaceful sense. I don't know why. You might not experience it. You might experience it. You might not have done before, but now you do because you never noticed it before. But there's a piece just like focusing on that, almost like looking at it. Well, they got your eyes closed, you probably could still see the light. If I look at one of the lights, I can still see through my eyelids the light. I can't see, specific things. But just by looking up a little bit, there's a sense of comfort. And it may affect your body so that you feel even more relaxed physically, but it's definitely got a connection with the mind. And it's almost like it opens a door to more relaxation and a safe space, a place that's just, I guess we all need somewhere within us to go where it's calm. And for me, that seems to be a place that just by looking up when my eyes are closed and not straining, I'm not like trying to look inside my own brain or anything, but just looking up a little bit and noticing there can be actually a pleasurable indeed feeling that comes from your eyes that may spread through your body, and it's a feeling of comfort. I'll give it a feel. That's what the word I'm going to give it, but it might have a different word, a different name for you. Might feel different. I definitely feel my face relaxing even more. And the weird thing about it is because when I'm doing these recordings, I open my eyes and I close my eyes. And every time I close my eyes, I feel even more relaxed. And it becomes harder to open my eyes. And I try not to sit here the whole time with my eyes closed. Firstly, because I'm making a video of this. I want to be able to look at the camera a little bit. But on the other side, I may well drift off and fall asleep. And it's hard to talk when I'm asleep, especially as I snore. I really snore. I shake the whole building. And then I snore. No, I do. I shake the whole building. What do I do? Jump up and down? Yeah, thanks. Not that big. Blimey. Rude. But I do snore. Vinny snores as well. Vinny's my little boy down there is asleep, I think. So even me talking bores him, like completely bores him to sleep. It's amazing. I think I'm interesting. I am the only one. That's how I can make someone laugh, telling them I'm a very interesting person. Everyone laughs at that like it's a joke. It's not a joke. They're trying to think out where the punchline is. Where is it? Why are they laughing? Sometimes I have to look down to make sure I've got trousers on. Not again. The amount of weddings I've ruined. But it feels nice. I like having my eyes closed. I mean, even now, as I'm focusing on my neck, I'm moving my head around a little bit, and the back of my neck feels very calm. The front of my neck, my throat, even though I'm talking, still feels relaxed. My mouth, my teeth, my tongue. Then I hold my face, my nose, my jaw. My jaw feels really loose. Sometimes it can feel a little bit stiff. But It's feeling quite loose right now. I mean, you think my jaw does get a lot of work, doesn't it? I mean, all the talking I do. It's overworked sometimes. When I'm not talking, I'm eating chocolate. I don't eat chocolate. I don't know why I say that. Not true. I do sometimes eat chocolate, but not generally. It's not something I spend a lot of my time doing, eating chocolate, to be honest. And as I focus down to my lower back, it doesn't really feel any different to any other part of my body right now. It sometimes feels a little bit like, do you know, an example, if you had a glass of water and you poured, like half a cup of salt or half a glass of salt into that water, other than the fact that the water would probably overflow, but you had a drink of that and it would just taste awful. Like, you wouldn't be able to drink it. It'd be like, ugh. Yet if you went into a swimming pool that was just full of clean drinking water, no one else around, so you've got no kids with verrucas running in and out, because obviously that's not good for drinking, is it? Verruca juice, no thanks. So, and you pour that same amount of salt in the middle of that swimming pool. I'm not going to go through the logistics of how would you get it into the middle of the swimming pool, but just imagine, maybe you had a little helicopter and you just dropped it into the middle of the swimming pool and just let it dissolve. And then you just put a glass, let it dissolve, leave it for a little while, let it all spread. What's the chances of you tasting that salt when you have a glass of water? Realistically. And that seems to be what happens with my lower back when I'm just doing recordings like this, even though I'm just talking nonsense some of the time. Most of the time, okay, all the time, it seems to be that the rest of my body almost supports my back. It's like the rest of my back, my arms and my legs and my stomach and my chest and my head are all saying, come on, it's fine. We'll take the rest of the weight. Just relax. Realizing that one part of the body isn't separate from the rest of the body. It's part of the rest of the body, and the rest of your body wants to take care of it because it's literally connected. It's like closer than family, because it's part of the larger part. Even though it's only a small part, the larger part takes care of it. So that part can just relax, maybe just go to sleep without needing to be concerned about anything, knowing that that part is safe, peaceful, relaxed. Yeah. I mean, it's all down to really noticing how you feel now compared to how you felt before. So, if you were to look at that, if you maybe in your mind remembering what number you gave it before we started talking, and what would you give it now? What number has it gone down to now? And how surprised are you that listening to complete whatever this is, listen to me just talking about stuff. Maybe a lot of it is irrelevant. Some would argue pointless, boring stuff. Yet, for some reason, it's been useful. And the way you feel has changed. Changed in a way that may surprise you. Maybe you're pleased. Maybe you're confused. Which makes sense. I mean, how can listening to this man with this wonderful voice, a full head of hair, this young, vibrant man, how dressed so smartly, how can he have had such a positive effect on your well-being, on your physical comfort? I don't know. I don't have the answers. All I can do is just keep talking. As long as people listen, I will keep talking. And at the moment, people are still listening. So, yeah, it'd be good to hear what results you had. If you haven't already fallen asleep. Now, this brings us to the end of this recording. So please remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye.